Hey, Dr. Huntington here, and in this video I'm going to share with you 5 simple foods that build your bones. And this is important because at every moment of every day your bones are being broken down and built back up as part of a natural process called bone remodeling. Typically your bones will have reached their maximum density at about age 30. And then from that point on, you'll tend to lose slightly more bone than you gain. However, the greater your bone density when you hit that peak at around age 30, the lower your risk for osteoporosis later in life. This means that the most important time to work on bone density is now, no matter your age. Because if you're under 30, and particularly if you're in your late teens, early 20s, the work you do now will set you up for better bones later in life. And if you're over the age of 30, you're on the downside of the slope in terms of bone mass. And so it's critical that you work on improving your bones so you can slow the progression or maybe even reverse it for a period of time. And there's even evidence out there that your peak bone density is determined in your late teens. Now, what I mean by that is that how you take care of your body and in your nutrition in particular in your late teens is determining what future peak bone mass you'll be able to reach when you're about 30 years old. So regardless of your age, it's important that you do something about this. Now, most of your calcium is stored in your bones and teeth. In fact, about 99% is located in those two places. And having enough calcium in your diet is vital for the health of both of those structures. But calcium is also vital for your heart, your skeletal muscle, and your nerve function. It's also important for blood clotting and tons of other important chemical reactions. Now, if you don't get enough calcium in your diet, your body will actually steal it from your bones and teeth. In other words, your body will not allow itself to be without easily available free calcium. And it doesn't matter how much it needs to steal from your bones or your teeth, if it means freeing up the calcium needed for vital functions such as your heart beating. And it makes sense when you look at it that way. I mean, what good are your bones and your teeth if your heart stops? Now, regardless of your age, you can support the health of your bones and teeth by making simple dietary changes. And I'm not talking about drinking more milk. So let's look at the 5 bone-building foods. First, dark leafy greens. Why? Because they're rich in minerals like magnesium and potassium, which help you to absorb calcium. And they also help balance your body's pH, keeping it slightly alkaline, which is the environment that's best, for bone health. And dark leafy greens also give you a big dose of vitamin K1, which has been shown in studies to help prevent bone fractures. Now, the second food is pine nuts. They're packed with the bone-building minerals manganese and magnesium. And on a side note, pine nuts contain several key antioxidants, such as vitamins A, B, C, D, E, as well as lutein. And for those hoping to lose weight, pine nuts help to release an appetite-suppressing hormone called cholecystokinin, or CCK. So adding pine nuts into your diets probably can't hurt. Now, the third bone-strengthening food is pumpkin seeds. They're actually a great source of zinc, which aids in bone building and bone healing. They're also a good source of manganese and magnesium and copper. And all 3 minerals, are needed for healthy bones. Now, the fourth food may surprise you a bit. It's canned sardines and salmon. These fish have tiny bones that you don't even notice when you eat them, and which are a great source of calcium. They're also a great source of vitamin D, which you need because vitamin D makes sure that the calcium that you're consuming is directed into your bones and teeth, rather than going into other soft tissues where calcium can become a problem. Now, canned sardines and salmon are also a great source of healthy omega-3 fats, which are key to reducing inflammation. And that's important because having inflammation throughout your body will interrupt the natural cycle of bone remodeling that's constantly happening in the background of life. In fact, the cells that get rid of damaged bone in this remodeling process are called osteoclasts. And it's inflammation in a specific area that signals these osteoclast cells to go to work, which leads to the bone being absorbed. And so if your diet lacks omega-3 fats, and it's like the typical American diet that causes systemic inflammation, then you are encouraging your osteoclast cells to thin your bones, because if you have systemic inflammation, you're signaling to them to go to work. Okay, the next food for bone health is sauerkraut. Fermented veggies, in particular cabbage, are a good source of vitamin K, as well as calcium and magnesium and probiotics. And the good news is that all of these support healthy bones. Now, because so many people are concerned about bone density, and because most people do not eat a diet that builds strong bones, I created the perfect bone support supplement. It's called Full Spectrum Bone Support, and it contains 16 bone supporting ingredients, all which are needed by your body to build strong, healthy bones. Now, to see what each of those 16 ingredients does, go to BodyManual.com and click on the product called Full Spectrum Bone Support. Okay, a quick note about some foods to avoid, because they can actually weaken bones. You want to avoid sugar, sodas, energy drinks, and limit your overall caffeine consumption. And we consider the importance of nutrition to bone health, and particularly in your late teens and early 20s, it's no wonder there's a bone density problem with all the sugar and soda and caffeinated beverages consumed by most people when they're in that point of their life. So we need to do some work on changing that. But right now, I'm most interested in you doing well. So let's work on this together and apply this material, and I'll see you in my next video.